Welcome back for a special weekly wrap. I'm sitting here with Simon Dryden, our race director, and it's the morning of the second start. And Simon, how are you feeling about the start?
Well, driving down here this morning we were a bit anxious because the front came through and we could hardly see. But fortunately, looks like the front is through now. The weather is calming down, and it's looking like that there will be no trouble getting a start for the two boats this afternoon. It's looking really exciting.
So should the competitors be anxious, or you think they're going to have a good race?
Look, I think the competitors have got two things to be mindful of. They've got to get out the head safely, and once they've achieved that, they've got to get past the prom safely. And why we talk about the prom is the prom has big current around it, and if there's waves, the waves can get very tall and very steep and can be uncomfortable, and we've got the wind, of course, which could increase to 40 or 50% above the average. So a very windy place with lots of big lumpy waves, and that's their next challenge.
But they've got to get out their heads. Tell us more about the heads. What conditions should they expect? Are we likely to start on time?
Look, at the moment it's looking like the weather should have passed by, so we'll be able to get a start at 3. We do have a provision with the tide to move the start to 4 o'clock as our last opportunity, but my gut tells me the way the wind is, we'll start on time. So the vessels will start off Portsea. They make their way across to Queenscliff, where they have to negotiate 3 virtual marks that we have in the heads, so they keep out of the way of the shipping. And once they get to the last of those marks, they turn left and off they go towards the prom and ultimately to Japan.
Now, I saw a few smiles on the face of one of our competitors this morning, which I didn't quite get, but then you explained in the weather briefing. Why would they be smiling at this stage?
Well, looking at the predict wind models today, the competitors here have got to be super excited. They have got wind all the way to Brisbane, and it looks like they might make Brisbane by Wednesday afternoon, which is a record time. So they are looking really good. The conditions are looking really favourable. The wind is going to be coming from the beam, which is at 90 degrees to the boat, or it's going to come from behind them. So it's going to be glamour sailing and fast.
And tell us about Morningstar. How are they going, and what are they going to expect?
Well, Morningstar, if you want to say who got the short stick out of the matches, I think Morningstar has comfortably had them. They really struggled tacking around the prom because they didn't have wind like these guys are going to have, but they had no wind. So it was really slow. They were tacking at 45 degrees, so their forward speed was less than 2 knots. So going around the prom was like pulling teeth. So then on the paddock, going across the paddock, they had a much better time, but again, light conditions overnight. And then this morning, what would you know, 50 knot northerlies.
Well, folks, that's it for the weekly wrap. We're going to bring you more information as it comes, and we're going to feed you those tactics, those tips. Thanks, Simon, for your time today, and we'll see you next week.